Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86. Here you will find everything from your favorite characters from anime, series or movies, such as figures, statues, trading cards, and other limited special edition items. I will show you everything that is included. For example, we will discuss the design of the box, how it's packaged, the design of the figure, the articulation points, the accessories that are included, and we will see our favorite characters in special scenes. And you never know, you might see other characters make special guest appearances, so you can decide whether it's worth getting or not. Subscribe and join me on new weekly adventures. Now let's start the show. Let's go. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my channel. My name is Titan del 86, and today from AMC Theatres, in a special collaboration, I present to you the DeLorean from Back to the Future. This is how the popcorn bucket comes in. Basically packaged in this brown box. There's nothing special about it, it's all plain. And once you open it, it's packaged in a plastic bag with two protective bumper pieces for each side. So depending on the mail carrier, hopefully if you order one, it didn't come damaged, since it doesn't have much packaging protection there. Once you get it out of the box, you can see that it comes in a plastic bag with two blisters on each side protecting it. So not a whole lot of protection here. If you look closely at the plastic bag, you will see that in the imprint, it has the actual instructions for this popcorn bucket. In the first section, it tells you that it comes with 6 batteries that are AG13. So that means that this popcorn bucket has some light effect parts to it. It's divided into 2 sections, one for the front section and one for the rear. It shows you the light switch for it for on and off, and then it shows you how to remove it. On the second side of the instructions, it tells you the movable joints for the bucket, which are the wheels, the gull-wing DeLorean doors, and it shows you where the popcorn tray is, which is inside the doors, where you can extend the trays out. Towards the bottom page of the instructions, it gives you more details on the batteries, and it tells you that you have to put a little plastic piece so you can turn them on. So that is one good thing, is that this popcorn bucket comes with the batteries already included. Here's the 360 of the DeLorean, also known as the Time Machine. So here you can see all the nice details that AMC implemented on the special popcorn bucket. And honestly, it looks really good compared to the other popcorn buckets that I have gotten from AMC Theatres. One of those that you might recall was the one for the Thunderbolts, which became also known as the Avengers. And that one, they had the limousine as the special popcorn bucket. So for this one, they chose the DeLorean. And all this is in celebration of the 40th anniversary of the movie Back to the Future. So what AMC did is they basically re-released that same movie into the theaters to show special screenings of it. And with that, they did some Back to the Future merchandise that you can buy. And this came out as the popcorn bucket for that release. And honestly, it looks really amazing compared to the other popcorn buckets that I've seen that were done with AMC. And actually, this one to me looks a lot better than the one that was done by Culturefly in collaboration with Netflix, Stranger Things, which was released through Target. I know if you recall my video from that one, if you haven't seen it, I suggest you go check it out. But in that one, that popcorn bucket was really good, where the Demogorgon mouth was the mechanical part of it to where you could access the popcorn. So you will rotate the base of the popcorn along with the rim to open the mouth and to close it, which gave you access to the popcorn. But on this one, to me, this is so far the best one that I've seen so far. And honestly, I was not expecting this to come out of AMC. But I really like the details. Hopefully the camera can capture everything that you see here, because it looks 1,000 times better in person. One thing that I did know is on the camera, you can kind of see the electronic portions of it that are clear. And those in the camera, they look slightly blue, and I think that is because of the lens refractions and reflections that are basically capturing the light of the blue LEDs. But in person, you wouldn't see this. They will appear to you clear, and that is because this is part of the light effects that they included as part of this special popcorn bucket. I know in celebration of the 40th anniversary, not only did AMC did this to basically show the movie in their theaters, but there are other companies that also did the same thing. Each one went back and they did something related to celebrate the 40th anniversary of the movie, which now is basically a classic movie that gets referenced throughout other movies. There's a plethora of movies out there that have made references to it, and there are even other shows that kind of mimic it to a certain extent. An example would be Rick and Morty. you could basically see that they drew a lot of inspiration between Marty and the Doctor's character themes. And that is something that is basically going to stick with Michael J. Fox along with Christopher Lloyd. These have now become very iconic characters that they're very recognizable anywhere you see them, especially within the media. Just for your awareness, they did make 3 movies. So you had the part 1, part 2, and then you had part 3, where in part 3 they go as far as creating a time train, which I know now, again, in celebration of the 40th anniversary, you have Tamashii Nations with Bandai that basically created the time train as a Chogo King. And this time train, they basically pulled all their whistles and everything to create their Chogo King. But in this one, they based it off part 3. And honestly, if you looked at that one, it looks really good, especially with all the accessories and stuff that they included to it. But this is, to me, honestly, out of everything that I've seen so far come out, this popcorn bucket or the DeLorean is one thing that to me it seems very unique and it's done very well. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. For this scene, I have turned the lights on and I have opened the doors. So in similar fashion of the DeLorean vehicle, it comes with gull-wing doors. And they're actually movable here. You also need to flip them open if you want to have access to the tray for the popcorn. Here you can see that it's got light effects on the front bumper as well as in the rear that goes around the hatch portion of the back side of the vehicle. One thing that I would have loved to have seen on this vehicle is if they would have given you the option to turn the headlights on and off, which it looks like they could have done it. If you look at it, it's a plastic piece around it. I think if they wanted to, they could have added 2 extra LEDs for each lamp to make them functional. One thing to note, the backside, even though it looks really good, is a sticker for the rear lamps and the license plate. And out of this whole thing, overall the quality seems really good. The only thing that I've seen here is that they messed up when they put that sticker. Not sure if you can capture it in the video, but if you look closely between the exhaust system in the top of the tail lamps, you can kind of see where the sticker didn't really line up. Here's a shot of it so you can see what it looks like in full darkness. As you can see, these lights are really bright. It lit up the whole room in the blue color. So that is some really bright lights that you get here with this popcorn bucket. So if you're actually going to use this, I would not recommend you watching the movie while having the lights on in the dark. One thing that I like about this popcorn bucket is all the accessories that comes with it. Honestly, I thought it was going to be a plain one, which are the ones that I've seen that come out of AMC, where they give you a few gimmicky things. For example, a light up effect part, or another one is just a plain bucket with a mechanical piece, just so you can have access to wherever the hinge is to access the bucket portion of it to put the popcorn in. But in this one, I feel like they basically pulled all the stops. So I have a feeling someone who was designing this over at AMC was put in charge, and they must have been a mega fan of the movie Back to the Future, because they got everything right. The details are really good. The gimmicky parts that they give you are phenomenal for a popcorn bucket. For example, the wheels can move. So in theory, you can roll this on the floor like a regular toy car, and it comes with the gull-wing doors that you can move up and down. And then you also have this light up effect part that lights it up just to give it that futuristic look of the flux capacitor in action as this DeLorean is going to hit 88 miles per hour so it could time travel. Don't forget to follow me on IG at Titan del 86. Let me know in the comments what are your thoughts. Another thing that I really like about this DeLorean popcorn box is the paint job that they did. It's not a cheap paint or the natural color or the plastic palette that they use to sculpture this special popcorn bucket. It actually has a paint job. If you focus closely, you can see that the paint job has a little bit of sparkle within it, and it just gives it an extra touch of elegancy within the gray panels. And as you can see, if you just look at the hatchback portion of the vehicle, you can see all the little details that incorporated from the flux capacitor to all the electronics required to make this DeLorean time travel. It's really phenomenal. and this is something that I was not expecting for AMC to do. It kind of makes you feel like this popcorn bucket is all in a class of its own. It's almost like this is a statement piece from AMC to say, hey, this is AMC, and we're able to do popcorn buckets that are really high in detail. And same thing with the quality. The other ones that I've seen so far that have came out have quality issues that makes them feel a little bit cheap, like they didn't really spend much effort in making it. But this one seems like it's top of the line. They actually thought about it. They actually thought about the materials that they were choosing, and they actually thought about what special effects they were going to put on this. So honestly, this really exceeded my expectation. I thought it was just going to be something simple from what I've seen AMC do in the past, and that's why it made me wonder when I was reviewing the Demogorgon popcorn bucket how a third company aside from a movie theater did it. But here I think AMC basically came back and made it a statement piece with this particular DeLorean. They basically pulled all the techniques that they were capable of doing. And honestly, this product came really good. I know it's a popcorn bucket, but honestly, if you have this in person and you see it, it basically just makes you want to have it as a display piece than to physically actually use it as a popcorn bucket. Even though if you wanted to, you could. Functionality wise, I don't think it's going to help you a whole lot there. This really blew my expectations of what I was expecting. I thought it was just going to be a plain popcorn bucket with one gimmicky of the doors opening for you to access the popcorn, but having the light effects and making the wheels articulated with movement on it, and the whole overall execution, especially the details in the paint job, they really outdid themselves and they did a really good job here. The only thing that I would have liked to have seen better was the packaging. I think they could have emphasized a little bit more on the packaging to make sure it gets to you very secure. The way they packaged it, to me, that would have been an issue if it would have came broken. Honestly, this is a really good one to have in the collection. And definitely, if you're a Back to the Future fan, this is a must-have. I don't care how many DeLoreans you already have out there, how many statues. I've seen a bunch of other brands do their own versions of Back to the Future with the characters as well as the different statues showing the time travel DeLorean. This is a must-have to be part of that collection. And that is one of the best things about this thing, is that light features that just add the whole classiness to the vehicle to make it more movie accurate from what you saw in the movie Back to the Future. For this scene, I have the DeLorean with the doors open, and I also extended the trays just so you could see what it looks like when the tray is open for you to put the popcorn in there and have access to it. One thing to note, I don't think if you was to actually use this as a popcorn bucket, you would get much use out of it. One is because you don't really have a whole lot of volume to work with. And second of all, I think having the hand access to go in and out of it, the gull wings are basically going to prevent you from having that quick and easy access that you are normally used to in a regular popcorn bucket. The other thing to note is, honestly, with a figure this good looking, would you really want to use it to have that buttery popcorn just oozing out of it? Honestly, I personally, after looking at it, I think it would be a crime if you actually use it. Not only because of the practicality, but because of just how good this thing really looks like, with the design and the features and all the little details that they did with it. Honestly, it kind of feels shameful to actually use it. One thing to note, they do give you the full option to wash it and clean it, where you have to put it in the water. One thing to note, the two battery packs at the bottom, they have snap features that you can pull out, so then you can take this whole plastic piece and just wash it in the sink. It does give you the warnings that obviously you cannot put this in a dishwasher, and definitely you shouldn't be putting it in the microwave for very obvious reasons, because it's all made out of plastic, so it will probably deform and melt. But honestly, if you was to use it as an actual popcorn bucket, I think when you want to clean it, you're gonna have issues, because even though it's plastic, the sticker on the tail lamps is gonna get wet and it's probably gonna fall off over time. So I don't think they thought about that one through. They do tell you that if you accidentally wash it or wet the electronic portions of it, where the batteries are housed in the bottom near the axles of the vehicle, it will damage the circuitry to make it stop working. So then the LED effect parts will not work. I think this is one of those statement pieces from AMC that says, hey, we can actually come in here and actually do a popcorn bucket with good designs and keep it within the theme of the movie that we're going after, and give you something that's actually functional too. But because it looks really good, I don't think the expectation is for you to actually go ahead and use it. This basically reminds me of the Lamborghini that they named the Huracan Estarano. In this one, just to give you a little bit of background, it's actually Lamborghini's take on an off-road vehicle. So what they did is they took a basic Huracan body and they added a couple features like off-road tires, all the off-road lights that are required for a vehicle to officially be in that off-road category. In case you didn't know, there's certain requirements for vehicles to be classified as an off-road. Most of it is not only within the tires, but also the types of lights that have to be used. So if you're looking at off-road vehicles, you'll basically know that they have a couple things in common. And one of those is the lights that they put on, especially up in the front of the vehicle. And in that one, you know for a fact that no Lamborghini owner is actually going to take a Huracan Estarano and actually plummet it through the desert off-road and doing all the crazy off-road stuff, just because, you know, once you damage it, those panels are going to be really expensive depending on how hardcore you are in the off-road. And they did it just to say that they can do it, but unless it's someone that's being paid for in a promotion, then no one in their right mind is actually going to use it, even if the vehicle is really a off-road worthy type. And this is similar to this particular popcorn box. They gave it the options to make it a popcorn holder, but realistically, you're not really going to actually use it. And that is because it's something that looks too good to be used. This is more of a statement piece that you can just have in the display next to all your Back to the Future collection, especially if you're a hardcore person that is a big fan of the movie. If you like what you're seeing, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. This thing is actually amazing. Here's a close-up look of the tray. The tray, once you open the gold wings, you basically have to expand it. Both trays are sliders, so one sits on top of the other one. So when you're not using it, you can compress it into one tray that sits in the center of the vehicle. But when it's time to put the popcorn in, you have to go in there and expand it. It's got two sliders on each side, both in the back and the rear of the vehicle, where you have to basically just pull it and expand it. And again, like I said, I don't think this thing's gonna hold a whole lot of popcorn just based on the side of the tray, and also because of how the gold wings are, I have a feeling that you're not gonna have much access to the popcorn as well. So this is gonna be very limited as far as being used as an actual popcorn bucket. But again, it goes to the effect of why would you want to use it as a popcorn bucket. Here's a close-up of the bottom of the vehicle. You can see the stamp of Back to the Future. You can see where the first set of the 3 batteries are held. Moving to the rear side, you see the other rear battery pack. And again, you have to remove these if you're going to wash it, which honestly I don't see why you would, because at that point you will have to be very careful not to mess up the sticker in the back. As you see in this scene, I have the DeLorean suspended in the air as it's trying to take off. And just to show you, the wheels are articulated so you can move them down to simulate how the vehicle would take off. So not only you can rotate the wheels, but you could also flip them down to simulate the other things that the vehicle was capable of doing. So that is another thing that I really like, that really caught me by surprise. Honestly, I wasn't expecting this popcorn bucket to do all this stuff that you're seeing. It's got the light up effect parts. I like how they integrated the bucket portion of it into being hidden within the gold wings, and also the articulation that they gave you for the gold wings to fully open them up. To me, AMC did a really good job on creating this popcorn bucket, all down to the details. The details are phenomenal. This thing looks really good in person, and if I had to compare it with the other ones that I have in my collection so far, comparing it against the Captain America one that I have, which is the shield bucket, I also have the one of the taxi driver from Marvel's movie Thunderbolts, and also comparing it to the one of the Demogorgon. This one is the best one that I have so far, and I really hope that AMC continues this type of level of craftsmanship, creativity, as well as execution. Because with these, it's going to make them really competitive and something to actually have a placehold in the market share when it comes to collectibles. And honestly, I know the theater industry is struggling right now because Hollywood is not making that many movies. Everything is mostly done with home streaming. So the theaters are really trying to keep up on how to bring in that revenue into it. I know now you can say that they're overcharging for the food, which that was always been the case. To me, it's literally the same thing. There was always been overpriced. Sometimes you end up paying more for the food than the actual movie ticket. One thing that I've noticed now is that they're starting to add more in-theater merchandise that they didn't really have. So now for every movie release that's coming out, they start to do all this merchandise to go with it. And one of the big ones that I think they're finding success is making these popcorn buckets or the cup tumblers, because those also sell quick. An example of that is what happened with the Demon Slayer movie Infinity Castle. And that one, they came up with a bunch of movie cups and they sold out with an instant. And I want to say most of that was because of not only the huge volume that went into the theaters to watch the movie, but the other thing was also the ones that were scalping. Just to be honest, I thought when I first started this channel I was going to be doing mostly figure reviews, but here I am a few years later reviewing popcorn buckets. And to me, that is because of how detailed and how gimmicky they became, that basically became really attractive, that is worth speaking about and they're worth showing you. And this is one of those that is really noteworthy. Just look at all those little clean details that they input on this particular vehicle. It's got very nice details. Every detail from the movie is captured in this vehicle. This is all I have for you today. If you like what you have seen, don't forget to leave your like, subscribe to the channel, share the video, and I'll see you next week with a brand new one. Thank you and bye.